also let me know. Is audio video both are okay? Are we good to go? So first of all, let me know in the comment section, is audio and video both are okay? So this is our session regarding your IE/IFS. This is your final marathon for IE/IFS. That will be for English medium. Like this is a marathon. This is a session for English medium. This is a final marathon of our IE and IFS. Okay. So first of all, let me know, is audio and video both are okay? Are we good to go? Should we start the session? Is audio and video both okay? So if we talk about Indian economy, Indian financial system, the first thing is that in the Indian economy, Indian financial system, our paper will be on 9th of June. 9th June, we have Indian economy and Indian financial system paper. Okay. Now, if I talk about Indian economy, Indian financial system, there are four modules in this particular subject, in which 45 units are there. We have 4 modules and 45 units in IE/IFS subject. If I talk about these 4 modules, the 2 module represents, that is A plus B module, represent the part of Indian economy. C plus D module represent the part of Indian financial system. Okay, these are the 2 subjects that have been combined to create the Indian economy, Indian financial system subject. So let me know, audio video both are okay? Are we good to go? Is everyone here? Do share the session once so that more and more candidate will join us in this particular session. And let's start. So this is why we have to study in the 2 different ways this particular subject, because it covers Indian economy and Indian financial system part. In Indian economy part, you will find the questions will be based on theory. The question will be called from your concepts and your data. Database questions, like they will actually ask the numericals in the sense, not a kind of numerical question, but the numeric values will be asked, like what is the contribution of GDP in the economy, what is the contribution of service sector in the economy, that kind of question can be asked. So if we talk about A and B module, theory, concept, database question will be there. If we talk about C plus D, there will be only conceptual questions. There will be only conceptual questions, and these conceptual questions will be lengthy and a little bit tough. C and D module comparatively is a tougher module because it covers the huge part of your syllabus, as well as it covers the conceptual questions only, in which maximum questions will be seen in the statement based form. Plus, in this particular modules C and D, the maximum units will be covered. So 1 to 19 units are the part of module A and B. 1 to 19. From 20 to 45, we have C and D module. So what we have to do, accordingly, we have to make the strategy, like how we are going to attempt the question. Now let's start with first. This is your first session of IE/IFS. Now 6 a.m. we have IE and IFS marathon. As well as 6 p.m. we have the same IE/IFS marathon. This is for the 6th of June. Okay. For 8th of June, you will find 2 more sessions about your IE/IFS. The first session will be at 6 a.m. and the second session will be at 7 p.m. So these are the timing for your special sessions on the IE/IFS. Now, let's start with the first question of marathon. You all have to keep participating in the session. And if you find any doubt, you can ask that doubt in this particular subject in session. But do make sure one thing, you keep answering the question. Doesn't matter it is right or wrong, but be participative in the session and also count that how many answers you are giving correct. Okay. So let's start with the first question. Just give me a thumbs up. Should we start with the first question? Good morning to all of you. Okay. So let's start with the first question, that is your match the following. The first question we have is match the following. Okay, the first question we have is a match the following. So first question is talking about the data. This is a data-based question. What type of question it is? It's a data-based question, you can see, because it is asking about the certain contribution of Indian economy at the global level. It is asking about a Indian economy's contribution at the global level. So first is factors have been given: global income or GDP's contribution, second global trade, third India and China contribution, fourth as per IMF India's GDP contribution is what? So you have to answer this particular question. A, B, C or D. Which of the following will be correct here? Let me know the right combination of your match the following. Okay. C. Third is A. Always make sure you use the elimination method in each and every question. Try to use the elimination method. Okay, everyone is going with the C. Chalo. So first of all, India's contribution in the global trade they are asking about. So global trade contribution in India was in 1600, it was 33%. It remained only 3% in the year 1947. If we talk about the contribution of India in global income or GDP, in 1600, it was 23%, which have been declined in 1947 when Britishers left the country. That was 3%. So the first, and the China and India's contribution was 50.5%, which increased to 52% in 1600. Okay. Apart from that, IMF has said that India's GDP contribution in the year 2021 was 7.3%. So the right combination will be fourth will be D. Fourth is what? D. If fourth is D, we can simply eliminate the B option. Then the third is talking about 3% in 1947. 3% in 1947 can be the answer of first and second. Both. Then India's contribution 23%. So 23% was in the global income. So first we have B. If first we have B, we can eliminate the A option as well. Second will be your C. So right answer is very good, C option. Right answer is C option. So do remember both the data. In 1600, India's contribution was 23% in case of global income or GDP. In 1947, it decreased to 3%. In global trade, India's contribution was 33% in 1680, reduced to 3% in 1947. India, China used to contribute 50%, 50.5% of global GDP in 1080, which increased to 52% in 1680. Okay. After that, if we talk about the India's contribution was increasing and China's contribution was decreasing. Now, the last one is as per IMF, International Monetary Fund, the country's GDP contribution was 7.3% in 2021. It means right answer will be your C option. Achha, also let me know what is the unit account of IMF is known as. Unit account of IMF is known as. What is the unit account of IMF is known as? Do make sure you are covering each and every data which I am giving in the explanation as well. Okay. Not only the question and options are important, as well as the explanation is also important. Now, unit account of IMF is, keep answering. Hana, be active, keep answering the question. Unit account of IMF, which is created as a supplementary global assets. Okay, it is very good. SDR, special drawing rights, which is also known as a basket of currency, which covers the 5 currency, that is known as your unit account of IMF. Okay, very good. Now you can see the whole data is given to us here. In 1080, you can see the contribution of India and China was 50.5%, which increased to 52%. Then China's contribution was 29, India's was 23. After that, China's contribution was declining, India's contribution was increasing, and India's contribution was 24.4%. Then after that, if we talk about in the IMF's data, 7.3% was the contribution of India in the year 2021. Also remember, in context to purchasing power parity, India's rank is third after USA and China. So in context to GDP purchasing power parity, USA, China, and third will be India. Okay, so this is the data, additional data which we have to remember. Chalo, next question. Next is talking about consider the following statement with respect to MSS. Also, let me know the full form. What is the full form of MSS? Which of the following statement is correct about your MSS? Also, let me know the full form of MSS. SDR include 5 currencies, that is US dollar, euro, yen, pound, and renminbi. The latest currency added to SDR was renminbi in October 2016. That's the China's currencies. It is purchasing power parity, Pradipta sir. Not PPI, it is PPP, purchasing power parity. That's India's rank is third in the purchasing power parity. Now let me know MSS full form. It is market standing stability, market stability scheme, marginal stability scheme. Okay, what about rest? So MSS we have covered in the monetary policy, that is market stabilization scheme. It is what? Market stabilization scheme, which was introduced by RBI in the year 2004 to control the liquidity of the market. Now let me know which statement is correct about it. First is saying the intention of MSS is essentially to differentiate the liquidity absorption of a more enduring nature by way of sterilization from day-to-day normal liquidity management operation. Second, the goal of implementing MSS was to sterilize extra long-term liquidity absorption from day-to-day typical liquidity management operation. Third, RBI used MSS to withdraw excess liquidity created during the demonetization in the year 2016. Only one, only two, 1 and 3, all. What do you think? Which of the following will be correct? So market stabilization scheme is the scheme that is the indirect instrument of monetary policy introduced in 2004, in which RBI used government securities. And RBI is using what? RBI used the government security to maintain the liquidity in the market. So whenever there is a high liquidity in the market, to control the liquidity, RBI sell the government security, and to increase the liquidity in the market, RBI purchase the government security. Very good. The right answer is all. All of these are correct in context to your MSS. So right answer will be your D. That is all of the above. Okay. So do remember, market stabilization scheme is what? To understand this, we have to take a look in 2004 when it was introduced, when FII, foreign institutional investors, started bringing in dollars to buy Indian stocks. At that time, it was introduced. And the intention of MSS is essentially to differentiate the liquidity absorption of a more enduring nature by way of sterilization from day-to-day normal liquidity. So simply in the MSS, RBI used treasury bills, dated government security, and RBI sell the government security to control the liquidity, and RBI purchase back the security to provide the liquidity in the market. Okay, so do remember that. To decrease liquidity in the market, RBI do what? RBI perform the selling of government security to control the liquidity in the market. To increase liquidity in the market, RBI purchase the same government security from the public. Okay, this is what the MSS is. Now, next question. In which year was RBI nationalized? In which year RBI was nationalized? By selling, purchasing of government security, correct. So do remember, in market establishment scheme, RBI purchase and sell the government security to control the liquidity of the market. Okay, and those government security will be treasury bills and government dated government security. Okay, to decrease the securities, to decrease the money supply in the market, RBI sell the government security. To increase liquidity in the market, RBI purchase the security. That is the only thing RBI does. Okay. Whatever money will be collected from the market establishment scheme will be maintained with RBI in a separate account of Government of India. Okay, that's also there. In MSS, public can also participate. In MSS, public can also participate. And the first is 1949, very good. RBI was nationalized in the year 1st January 1949. Second, How many times at the minimum does the Monetary Policy Committee meet in a year? Answer quickly. How many times at a minimum Monetary Policy Committee have to meet? Very good. 6 times, at least 6 times. What is the rate of interest payable on CRR funds? What is the rate of interest payable on CRR fund? CRR is cash reserve ratio. The cash reserve ratio is simply when all the scheduled commercial bank have to maintain the reserve with RBI in form of cash as a percentage of NDTL. Okay, that's what we have as a CRR. So right answer here is no interest is payable on CRR. RBI does not pay interest on the CRR. No interest will be paid on the CRR. Okay, next. How many full-time members are there on SEBI board? How many members are there on SEBI board? How many members are there in SEBI board? Okay, so the question is asking about the full-time members. So how many full-time members are there? There are only 3 full-time members. Under the recommendation of which committee was Adda established? That's the simplest committee, I guess. Insurance committee is the simplest committee. On the recommendation of which committee the Adda was established? Adda is the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India, which regulates the insurance market in our country. It regulates the insurance market, and the right answer is Malhotra Committee. On the recommendation of Malhotra Committee, Adda was established. On the recommendation of Malhotra Committee, bank started the bank assurance services as well. Okay, chalo, next. Which of the following is not a sector included in infrastructure? The sector not included in infrastructure. The full name of the committee is R.N. Malhotra Committee. है ना, R.N. Malhotra Committee. Now let me know which of the following is not a sector included in infrastructure. A, B, C or D? Okay, very good. That's a textile. Textile is not included in the infrastructure. Second, which of the following are the characteristics of infrastructure financing? The characteristic of infrastructure financing is? The characteristics of infrastructure financing is larger amounts. Second is saying longer maturity. Third is saying fixed and low real interest rates, rate of return. And fourth is saying all of the above. So what do you think? Which of the following are the characteristics of infrastructure financing? A, B, C or D? So it's very obvious if we talk about the infrastructure, why the development financial institutions was introduced. With the same reason, because we needed a long-term capital for a long-term period of time. So larger amounts, longer maturity, fixed and low real returns, all are correct. What is the authorized capital of NABFID? Also, let me know in which year NABFID was introduced. Also, let me know in which year NABFID was introduced. Very good. It is 1 lakh crores. So, NABFID's authorized capital is 1 lakh crore. Its full form is National Bank for Financing Infrastructure and Development. And in which year NABFID was introduced? This is our 5th All India Financial Institution if we talk about the NABFID. 1 lakh crore is the authorized capital. Okay, that's correct. And it was introduced in 2021. That's the latest development financial institution and the 5th All India Financial Institution. Now, what is the percentage of cash settlement proposed to be made by NARCL? What is the cash settlement proposed to be made by NARCL? National Asset Reconstruction Company. National Asset Reconstruction Company, that is also known as a bad bank. That is also known as what? It is also known as a bad bank. Very good. It is 15% is your cash settlement. Remaining 85% security receipts will be given. Hana, security receipts will be given on which the government of India will provide the security for the period of 5 years. Okay, the government will provide the security, the central government will provide the security for 5-year periods, for 5 years, and the amount for which is 30,600 crore. For this amount, Government of India will be providing security under the security receipts of NARCL, that is also known as your bad bank. Okay, now the last one, smart lending for aspiring India, is one of the theme in which addition of ease. 1.0, 2.0, 3.0 or 4.0? Yes, very good. 30,600 crore is the amount for which government will provide the guarantee. And actually, it's not security, the guarantee we can say. The government will provide you the guarantee of 30,600 crores and for the period of 5 years only. And this smart lending for aspiring India is EASE 3.0. It is what? It's a EASE 3.0. Okay, correct. Next question. Next, we have which of the following factors influence the nature and characteristics of Indian economy? The factor which influence the nature and characteristics of Indian economy. Low per capita real income, rapid population growth, high rate of unemployment, underemployment, disguised unemployment, excessive reliance on primary sector, a vicious circle of your poverty, rising unemployment. So what do you think? Which of the following is actually the factor which influence the nature and characteristics of Indian economy? A, B, C or D? A, B, C or D? Only 2, 3 and 5, 1, 3 and 4, all except 3 and 5 and all of the above. And the answer will be very good, all of the above. All these are what? All these are the nature and characteristics of Indian economy. We have a low per capita income. Rapid population growth is there, high rate of unemployment. Underemployment, when the person have to settle for the less, that is known as underemployment. The third is disguised unemployment. It means what? It means we have a surplus manpower. The surplus manpower have been appointed by the company, out of which the certain laborers are there who are not even having a productivity in the company. Excessive reliance on primary sector, that is agriculture sector. Circle of poverty, rising unemployment, all are correct. So right answer will be your D. Okay, right answer will be your D. So you can see number of factors which influence. We have total 6 factors that will influence the nature and characteristics of Indian economy. Clear? Next. Contribution of which sector is maximum to the Indian economy? Contribution to which sector is maximum to the Indian economy? A, B, C or D? Contribution of which sector is maximum to the Indian economy? That's a tertiary sector. If we talk about the maximum employment, the employment generation comes from the primary sector, but the income for the country comes from the service sector. Do remember that. So first is C, tertiary sector. Second is saying in terms of GDP purchasing power parity, India is ranked what in the world in 2022 as per IMF World Economic Outlook April 2022? It is your simple, the third rank. India's rank is third. Acha, who is first and who is second in this ranking? In purchasing power parity, which country is first and second? Which country is first and second here? Third, okay. So it is correct. First is USA and second we have is China. And the third one will be India. Okay. Next question. As per Angus Madison database, India's share to global GDP was dash in 1600 AD. I guess you can easily answer this question as well. Hana, we have discussed this question. So Angus Madison data is very important. Each and every data he have given us in the unit number 1. All the data should remember. Okay. Now, what was the contribution of India? That is very good. 23% was the contribution in global GDP. In global GDP, 23 and 3 was there. So you can simply say 1600, 1947. First is global GDP, or you can say global income. Second is your global trade. So in GDP is what, 23%, which shrunk to the 3%. In trade, it was 33%, which also shrunk to the 3% when the Britishers left the country. Okay. Next, as per World Bank classification, Indian economy is a dash economy. So World Bank have classified the economies on the basis of per capita income. On the basis of what? Per capita income. How many categories are there? 4 categories are there, in which World Bank have divided the economies. And all the 4 categories written here. Low income, lower middle income, upper middle income, and high income. Okay. Now you have to answer the question, what is India's category? Also let me know what is the per capita income of India. Also let me know what is the per capita income of India. Okay, fourth is B, that is lower middle income. That's correct. What is the per capita income of India? That's why India is coming under the lower middle income country. $1,891. Very good. So India's rank was, India's per capita income was $1,891. That's why India is a lower middle income country. And the category includes, this category includes your per capita income of your $996 to $3,895. $3,895. So this is a range for lower middle income category, and out of that, India's per capita income was 1,891. Okay, very good. Next question. Which factor contributed to significant increase in the turnover in the foreign exchange market in India? Which particular factor contributed to significant increase in turnovers in foreign exchange market in India? It was introduction of derivative trading, liberalization of economy, rise in government security transaction, decrease in daily trading volumes. What do you think might be the reason which have increased, the significant increase have been done in the turnovers? First, per capita income calculated by Dadabhai Naroji, very good. It was 20 rupees per person, and the national income was 340 crores. Very good, Rekha ma'am. And one more thing, the book he have written was Poverty and Un-British Rules in India. Well done. Poverty and Un-British Rules in India is the book in which he have defined the drain wealth theory as well. And the year when the Dadabhai Naroji have given us this data, what, 1867-68. Very good. It is the liberalization. It's what? It's the liberalization. Acha, who regulates the derivative market? Who regulates the derivative market? So in 1991, LPG was introduced, in which liberalization means to remove all the rules, regulations, and restrictions from the trade, and that made the foreign exchange market had a significant growth in the turnovers, because in the liberalization, the rules, regulations, and restrictions related to the trade have been reduced or have been eliminated. Very good. It is regulated by SEBI. The derivative trading is regulated by SEBI. So right answer is your B. Right answer will be your B. Okay. Next question. Business cycle is also known as what? Business cycle is also known as what? The entrepreneur cycle, economic cycle, vicious circle, or none of the above. Not none of the poverty, none of the above. And it is known as, very good, economic cycle. You can also call it as a trade cycle. Economic cycle or trade cycle, both are correct. Okay, pick odd